Listen to me. You set the tone for your life. Nobody else. Not your parents, not your coach, not your boss, not your friends, you. Every single day you are making a decision about the type of life you're going to live. And that decision is based on your standards. Your standard defines your success. Success isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's not even about how many opportunities come your way. Success is about standards. The level you set for yourself every single day determines the level of success you will reach. If you allow yourself to operate at 50%, don't be surprised when you only get 50% results. If you give yourself permission to slack, to cut corners, to take shortcuts, then you can't be shocked when your life reflects those choices. You don't get what you want, you get what your standard allows. Look around at your life right now. Your body, your finances, your career, your relationships, your mindset, all of it is a reflection of the standard you set for yourself. If you expect greatness from yourself, you will push for greatness. If you accept average, then you will live an average life. It's that simple. The people who achieve big things don't get there because they're lucky. They get there because they set the bar high and refuse to operate below it. Think about the greatest athletes, the top entrepreneurs, the most successful people in the world. They don't just work hard when they feel like it. They don't just give their best when someone is watching. Their standard is excellence. Every single day in everything they do. They don't allow laziness. They don't allow excuses. They don't allow weak energy in their space because they understand that the standard they set is the standard they live by. So the question is, what standard are you living by? Are you setting the bar high and holding yourself accountable to it? Or are you letting yourself slip into bad habits? Are you demanding greatness from yourself, or are you allowing yourself to be comfortable with just getting by? Because let me tell you something. The standard you set today is shaping your future. If you want to be successful, you have to get serious about what you're allowing in your life. You have to raise the bar on yourself. That means no more waking up late and rushing through the day without a plan. That means no more skipping workouts and saying, I'll do it tomorrow. That means no more cutting corners at work hoping nobody notices. That means no more surrounding yourself with people who don't push you to be better. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your standard. And here's the truth. Nobody is coming to raise the standard for you. Nobody is going to do the work for you. Nobody is going to hold you accountable when things get tough. That's on you. You have to wake up every morning and decide that today you're going to operate at the highest level possible. Today, you're going to put in the effort that most people won't. Today, you're going to build the habits that will take you to the next level. Because here's the thing, your standard is a contract. It's a contract you make with yourself about the way you live your life. And every time you break that contract, you weaken your discipline. Every time you let yourself off the hook, you make it harder to bounce back. But every time you hold yourself accountable, every time you push through even when you don't feel like it, every time you demand more from yourself, you strengthen your mindset. You build confidence. You become the type of person who doesn't just talk about success, you live it. So don't wait for the perfect moment to raise your standard. Do it now. Set the bar higher. Demand more from yourself. Stop allowing weakness. Stop making excuses. Because at the end of the day, the success you achieve will always be a reflection of the standard you refuse to compromise on. Average is a choice. Excellence is a commitment. Every single day, you are making a choice to be average or to be excellent. The problem is most people don't realize they are choosing mediocrity. They think they're just going with the flow, waiting for the right opportunity, or doing just enough to get by. But what they don't understand is that average isn't something that happens to you. It's something you accept. It's a decision you make every time you hit snooze, every time you skip the extra rep, every time you put off your goals for later. Excellence doesn't happen by accident. It's a commitment. It's waking up every day and deciding that no matter what, you're going to give your best effort. It's not about talent, it's not about luck, and it's not about circumstances. It's about the mindset that says, I refuse to settle. The people who win in life aren't necessarily the smartest, the strongest, or the most gifted. They're the ones who commit to a standard of excellence, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when nobody else is watching. Look at any high achiever, any athlete, entrepreneur, leader, or innovator. They don't operate at the level of the people around them. They set their own standard. While others are making excuses, they're making progress. While others are looking for shortcuts, they're mastering their craft. While others are satisfied with good enough, they're pushing for greatness. And that's why they separate themselves. Average people wait for the right time. They wait for motivation. They wait for someone to push them. But those committed to excellence don't wait. They take action. They don't need someone to tell them to work hard because it's already ingrained in them. They don't need external validation because they are driven by an internal fire. They don't back down from challenges because they know growth only happens outside of comfort. So ask yourself, are you choosing average or are you committing to excellence? Because every decision you make is either moving you forward or holding you back. Every time you slack off, you're reinforcing the habit of mediocrity. Every time you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, you're making it easier to put things off again. But every time you push yourself beyond what's comfortable, you're building the mindset of a champion. Every time you demand more from yourself, you're stepping into your full potential. And let's be real, most people settle. Most people would rather be comfortable than be great. Most people would rather blend in than stand out. But you have to decide, are you most people or are you built different? Because the truth is, greatness isn't reserved for a select few. It's available to anyone who is willing to commit to it. But commitment means sacrifice. Commitment means discipline. Commitment means showing up every day and executing at the highest level, even when you don't feel like it. People love to say they want success. They want to win. They want to live at the highest level. But the question isn't whether you want it. The question is whether you're willing to do what it takes. Are you willing to wake up early? Are you willing to put in the extra hours? Are you willing to push through exhaustion, failure, and setbacks? Because that's the difference between average and excellence. At the end of the day, your results will reflect your choices. If you choose to be average, life will give you average outcomes. But if you commit to excellence, if you set the bar high and refuse to lower it, if you operate at a level most people won't, then you will achieve what most people never will. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Decide right now that you are done with average. Choose excellence. Commit to it. Live by it. And watch how your life transforms. Discipline is the price of high standards. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants to live a life that is above average. But wanting it is not enough. Success isn't about wishing. It's about paying the price. And the price you have to pay is discipline. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your discipline. Discipline is what separates the best from the rest. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not who has the best connections. It's who is willing to show up every single day and put in the work, even when they don't feel like it. Because let's be honest, motivation is temporary. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you're fired up, some days you're dragging. But discipline is what keeps you consistent. Discipline is what gets you up at 5 a.m. when you'd rather sleep. Discipline is what keeps you pushing when your body and mind are telling you to quit. Discipline is what makes you do the hard things that others avoid, and that's why it makes you great. Most people operate based on feelings. If they feel motivated, they work hard. If they don't, they slack off. But the ones who win in life are the ones who show up regardless of how they feel. It's easy to give 100% when you're excited. It's easy to push when everything is going your way. But what happens when the excitement wears off? What happens when life hits you with adversity? What happens when nobody is watching and nobody is holding you accountable? That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is doing the work when nobody is watching. Discipline is holding yourself to a standard even when there's no reward in sight. Discipline is waking up early, training hard, studying late, staying focused, and doing what's necessary, not just what's convenient. Look at the best athletes, the top entrepreneurs, the most successful people in the world. They didn't just wake up one day and become great. They built themselves through discipline. They committed to a standard and refused to break it. They didn't allow excuses. They didn't negotiate with themselves. They didn't give themselves an easy way out. They demanded more from themselves than anyone else ever could. And that's the difference. That's why some people succeed while others stay stuck. Discipline is the foundation of high standards. If you want to be the best, you can't operate like everybody else. You can't do what's easy. You can't wait until you feel like it. You have to be willing to sacrifice comfort for greatness, because discipline will take you places that motivation never could. Think about it. Every time you hit snooze, you're training yourself to break your own commitments. Every time you skip a workout, you're reinforcing the habit of quitting. Every time you tell yourself, I'll do it later, you're programming your mind to accept procrastination. But every time you show up, every time you push past the resistance, every time you follow through on your commitments, you are strengthening your discipline. You are proving to yourself that you are in control. And listen, discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. At first, it's hard. At first, it feels unnatural. But the more you stay consistent, the more automatic it becomes. You stop questioning whether or not you'll do the work. You just do it. You stop debating whether or not you'll wake up early. You just get up. You stop allowing excuses to enter your mind because you've trained yourself to operate at a high standard. So ask yourself, are you disciplined or are you just motivated? Because motivation is temporary, but discipline is what builds legacies. Motivation will get you started, but discipline will keep you going. And if you're serious about setting a standard, if you're serious about greatness, if you're serious about achieving everything you say you want, then discipline is the only way forward. Your standards shape your identity. You are not just what you say you are. You are not just what you hope to be. You are what you repeatedly do. Your habits, your mindset, your work ethic, they define you. And at the core of all of it is your standard. The standard you set for yourself in every area of life shapes your identity. It determines how people see you. More importantly, it determines how you see yourself. You can talk all day about wanting success, about wanting to be great, about wanting to live a life of impact, but talking about it is not enough. If your actions don't align with your words, then you are lying to yourself. You can say you want to be a leader, but if you don't carry yourself like one, then you're not a leader. You can say you want to be successful, but if you're cutting corners and making excuses, then your standard is not aligned with success. Your identity is not built on what you want. It's built on what you demand from yourself. The way you work, the way you think, the way you train, the way you show up every single day. It all reflects your true standard. And if you don't hold yourself to a high level, if you don't demand more from yourself than the average person, then you will never rise above the average life. Look at the best in the world. Look at the champions, the top entrepreneurs, the elite performers in any field. They don't just act like winners when it's convenient. Their standard is consistent. They walk like winners. They talk like winners. They think like winners. They prepare like winners. Every part of their identity is shaped by the standard they refuse to compromise. And that's what separates them. That's why they succeed, because their standard doesn't drop when things get hard. Their standard doesn't change based on circumstance. Their standard is locked in. They are disciplined in how they carry themselves, how they work, how they approach every single challenge. They don't just do what's required, they do more. They don't just show up when they feel like it, they show up because that's who they are. So ask yourself, who are you? Not who do you say you are, not who do you want to be, who does your daily standard say you are? Because if your standard is inconsistent, if you're only disciplined when it's easy, if you're only working hard when people are watching, then your identity is weak. If you want to change your life, you have to change your standard. If you want to level up, you have to demand more from yourself every single day. And that starts with the way you carry yourself. If you want to be great, you have to start acting like it now. Not next week, not when the timing is right, right now. Because listen, you teach the world how to treat you based on the standard you set for yourself. If you carry yourself with excellence, people will respect you. If you work with discipline, people will value you. If you move with purpose, people will follow you. But if you allow yourself to operate at a low level, if you accept excuses, if you tolerate laziness in yourself, then that's exactly how the world will see you. So stop waiting. Stop thinking you get away with half effort and still achieve full success. Raise your standard. Demand more from yourself in everything you do. Show up differently, work differently, think differently, because the standard you set today is shaping the future you will live tomorrow. Your identity is built on the standard you refuse to break. Your environment reflects your standard. Look around you right now. Your environment is a direct reflection of your standard. The people you surround yourself with, the way you keep your space, the energy you allow in your life, all of it is shaping who you are becoming. If you are serious about elevating to the next level, then you have to take control of your environment. You can't expect to reach greatness while living in a space of mediocrity. Your environment is either pushing you forward or pulling you back. The people around you, are they inspiring you? Are they challenging you to be better? Or are they keeping you comfortable, keeping you distracted, keeping you operating at a level below your potential? Because whether you realize it or not, you are being influenced. Every conversation you have, every piece of content you consume, every habit you reinforce is either helping you grow or keeping you stagnant. If you surround yourself with people who are lazy, unmotivated, and undisciplined, don't be surprised when you start picking up those same traits. If you are constantly listening to negativity, don't be shocked when your mindset starts to reflect it. Your standard is a product of what you expose yourself to. If you want to set a new standard, you have to change your environment. Look at the best in the world. Look at the people who are achieving at the highest level. They don't put themselves in weak environments. They don't allow negativity. They don't entertain distractions. They don't keep people around who aren't pushing them to be better. They create an atmosphere that supports their goals. They surround themselves with energy that fuels their ambition. They protect their focus because they understand that their environment is either an asset or a liability. And that's what you have to do. You have to audit your space. You have to take an honest look at the people you spend time with, the conversations you engage in, the habits you've built. If something is not pushing you forward, it's pulling you back. There is no neutral. If you want to raise your standard, you have to eliminate anything that is lowering it. That means cutting off toxic relationships. That means walking away from negative influences. That means removing distractions that are stealing your time and energy, because you can't keep entertaining low-level energy and expect to operate at a high level. You have to be intentional. You have to create an environment that breeds success. That means surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, who hold you accountable, who push you to grow. That means filling your mind with knowledge, with motivation, with strategies that will help you reach your goals. That means keeping your space organized, keeping your schedule disciplined, keeping your priorities in order. And listen, this is not about being comfortable. This is not about doing what feels good in the moment. This is about doing what's necessary, because your environment is shaping your habits. Your habits are shaping your mindset, and your mindset is shaping your future. So ask yourself, is your environment supporting the standards you want to live by, or is it holding you back? Are the people in your life challenging you to be great, or are they keeping you average? Are your daily habits building discipline, or are they reinforcing laziness? Because at the end of the day, you can't have high standards in a low standard environment. If you are serious about leveling up, then you have to create an atmosphere that matches your ambition. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your space, because the standard you set in your environment will ultimately determine the level of success you reach. Raise the standard, elevate your life. Everything in your life right now is a reflection of the standard you have set for yourself. Your health, your relationships, your finances, your work ethic, it's all connected to what you have accepted as your baseline. If you are not where you want to be, if you are not operating at the level you know you are capable of, then the problem isn't your talent, your intelligence, or your potential. The problem is your standard. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they tolerate too much from themselves. They allow bad habits. They accept mediocrity. They settle for good enough instead of demanding excellence. And over time, that becomes their identity. They don't even realize that they've trained themselves to operate at a level far below their potential. But here's the truth. You will never rise above the standard you set for yourself. You can have the biggest dreams in the world, but if you don't raise the standard in how you think, how you work, and how you live, then you will always stay stuck. Success isn't something you hope for, it's something you demand. It's something you create by setting a standard so high that you refuse to break it. Champions don't win because they are lucky. Millionaires don't succeed because they are special. They win because they set a standard that forces them to show up every day and execute at the highest level. And let's be real, most people will never do this. Most people are okay with settling. Most people would rather be comfortable than be great. But you are not most people. You don't want an average life. You don't want to look back with regret knowing that you could have done more. You don't want to waste your potential. So what are you waiting for? Raising your standards starts with a decision to stop accepting less than what you are capable of, a decision to stop making excuses, a decision to stop allowing distractions, laziness, and fear to control your actions. It means changing the way you wake up in the morning. It means changing the way you attack your goals. It means changing the way you handle adversity, the way you respond to failure, the way you push through when you feel like quitting. Because the standard you set is not just about what you do when things are easy. It's about how you show up when things are hard. And here's the truth. Nobody is coming to raise your standard for you. Nobody is going to push you harder than you push yourself. If you don't demand excellence from yourself, then life will give you whatever scraps are left over. But when you raise your standard, life has no choice but to meet you at that level. So what does that look like? It means setting goals that scare you. It means developing habits that force you to grow. It means eliminating anything that is keeping you small. It means walking with confidence, working with discipline, and speaking with conviction. It means refusing to let temporary emotions dictate your long-term results. Because at the end of the day, You don't get what you want, you get what you demand. And when you raise your standard, you raise your results. You raise your income, you raise your influence, you raise your entire quality of life. So stop settling. Stop playing small. Stop waiting for permission to be great. Raise the standard, hold yourself to it, live by it, and watch how everything in your life begins to change.